Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit. This is the new Yamaha FZ-X, one of the 4 new motorcycles that Yamaha have launched. We are in the beautiful city of Jaipur, and this here is the Amir Palace, the courtyard, and as you can see, there are a lot of Yamaha FZ-X motorcycles here. And this color that you see here is the new one, the dark matte blue color. So it's a blue and black two-tone color, but the highlight here is the golden wheels, which are not available on any other shade. Also, from what we have been told, the race blue color, which did not have this 3D emblem, it had the one lettering and the stickering instead has been taken out. So you still have 3 colors in all. This color here, that copper color there, and the matte black. And on those colors, you have the 3D emblem as well, albeit in a different color. Now the rest of this stuff is more or less the same, but now this motorcycle is E20 ethanol compliant, which means that it can run with a blend of 20% ethanol. Yamaha is saying that by the end of 2023, all its motorcycles will be compliant with ethanol blending. So that's good news. Apart from that, this is also available with the OBD2 port, so the diagnostics are easier now. Now the biggest news here, apart from whatever I've told you just now, is the inclusion of a traction control system. And the traction control system, thankfully, is not too intrusive. On some other motorcycle, it cuts in too early, but here you can still induce a mild wheel spin if you so wish. You can induce a mild bunny hop, although you cannot induce a wheelie here. So, for example, if you are on a patch of gravel and you are at a standstill and you put the motorcycle in the first gear and you want to slide your way out, you won't be able to slide your way out, but you'd still feel a little bit of wheel spin. So it's not entirely intrusive. It cuts in over gravel. If you're in second gear, if you want to ride fast, induce a slide, you'll definitely feel the system cutting in and cutting down power. And what it does, it uses ignition timing and injection volume to cut down power, and it cuts in just in time before your wheels spin out of control and you have a fall. So it's a feature not many motorcycles in this segment have, and this definitely is a welcome feature that has been added here. Adds to the safety, although for the hardcore ones amongst us, it can be a little bit intrusive, but for this kind of power, I don't really mind this safety net. Apart from that, I have given you a very detailed review of this motorcycle earlier, and I rode this motorcycle exhaustively again today. So a few things that you would probably want to know. 12.4 PS at 7,250 RPM. That power is not par for class. All the other 150, 160 motorcycles have 4 to 5 PS more. So in terms of power, this motorcycle is comparable only to the FZ-S. All the other motorcycles in 150 segment have a lot more power. So this motorcycle, if you want power, performance, etc., even lightweight, this motorcycle is not for you. It's essentially a glorified commuter, which looks big, has a lot of girth, a lot of mass. So if looks matter to you, if size matters to you, then this motorcycle is for you. FZ-S also has the same power and torque figures, but all the other motorcycles in the segment have more power. Now, talking about performance, this motorcycle will do it 0 to 100 in about 18 seconds, although the 0 to 60 will come in about 6 seconds. Gear speeds, in the first speed you will reach 41 kilometers per hour. In the second gear you will reach about 60 kilometers per hour. In the third gear 82 kilometers per hour. In the fourth gear 102 kilometers per hour. And the top speed of this motorcycle in the fifth gear is 115 kilometers per hour, which again is slower as compared to the other motorcycles. But the highlight of this motorcycle is its fuel efficiency. This motorcycle would give you a consistent fuel efficiency of about 40 to 45 kilometers to the liter in the city itself. And if you're on the highway, you can extract as much as 55 kilometers to the liter on this motorcycle. So among the 150, 160 cc motorcycles, this motorcycle has probably the highest fuel efficiency, and that is its highlight. Now, let me refresh you about what this motorcycle is very quickly. So this part is metal, this part here is metal, this brace here is metal, 41 mm forks with gaiters. You have single channel ABS, you have discs at the rear. The ground clearance is 165 mm. You also get this metallic protector here. It gets a monoshock, which is 7-step adjustable, and in terms of ride quality, this is one of the most comfortable motorcycles that you can come across. If you want a very comfortable motorcycle, and also since I'm talking about comfort, you need to know that this is a rather high motorcycle. The seat height here is 810 mm, so not entirely suitable for very short riders. But if you're 5'6", 5'7", you should be perfectly fine. If you're shorter than that, that can be a little bit of a problem. The seat here is a step seat, although it's not a split seat. You have this tuck and roll kind of a setup here, and it's two-tone. Earlier on the racing blue color, you had a different color for the seat. It was brown, but now it's consistent across the range. Exhaust here is one of the highlights, a very bassy, very throaty exhaust. You have an engine inhibitor with the side stand, so that provides additional safety. And let's have a listen to the exhaust as well. Now another change worth mentioning is LED blinkers, which have been introduced here. Earlier you had bulbs, but now you have the LED blinkers, so that's again a welcome change. You have this LED projector headlamp, which has high and low beam both installed within the projector itself. So when the light is lit, the DRL is also bright, and when the light goes off, the DRL is also dimmed down. It looks rather nice, although the design is very quirky and you'll either hate it or love it. It has found a lot of takers, so I'd like to assume that a lot of people do actually love it. Now the riding position of this motorcycle is also feet forward. It's not a very committed stance handlebar position. Now the foot pegs here are also rather forward set, and the handlebar here is also commuterishly set, so it's a very city friendly kind of a setup. It's not exactly a tourer, but if you want to ride it in the city primarily, and if you want to be riding it on the highway, this motorcycle will do the job. This tank also is not too big, and it's only 10 liters as compared to other motorcycles which are 12 to 15 liters in size. Now the only change to the instrument console is this TCS indicator. Apart from that, you have this tacho, you have this speedo, you have this fuel gauge here, and this TCS indicator which is situated right here as well. The legibility of this instrument console is not very high, and this also doesn't have a gear position indicator, which is a problem. Although it does come with average fuel efficiency and other features on the Y-Connect app, but here on the instrument console you cannot see all of that data, so that again is a bit of a miss, I think. This motorcycle comes with Bluetooth connectivity as well with the Y-Connect app, and it has a lot of features, but turn-by-turn navigation is not one of them. What this also misses out on is a hazard switch, which this motorcycle does not have. The fuel tank cap is not a hinged type. The cap comes out fully. Now this motorcycle also comes with this 12-volt power socket, which can be used to put a USB socket as an accessory to charge your mobile device or whatever you want to. The back seat is not too high, and the grab rail is very functional, so it's very easy to use, although it's not very good looking. The tail lamps, just like the headlamp and the blinkers, are LED units. Up front you have a 100 section tire, at the rear you have 140 section. These are block pattern tires, so while you might want to think that you can do a bit of soft roading, but that's not the purpose of them. It's meant to make this motorcycle look chunky. As you can see, this is a very muscular, very wide kind of a motorcycle, and these tires are the way they are to give it that brawny appeal. The ground clearance here is 165 mm, which by all means is sufficient, and I went over some rather vicious bumps today. There was no problem whatsoever, so you can ride it over bad bumps. Although this essentially is a street bike, if you want to straddle it, there would be a bit of problem because A, the handlebars are not high enough, and the tank is very wide, so you really cannot ride the pegs very effectively. So it essentially is meant to be ridden on the highway only. The suspension, as I told you, is very comfortable, and the grip from the tires also is fantastic. The handling, the braking and everything else is quite good. I won't say it's class leading, but it's pretty good for the power and torque this motorcycle has. It's not a very fiercely powerful motorcycle, so I really believe that the hardware this has, the single down tube chassis and the 282 mm brakes up front and 220 mm at the rear are good enough. Now while hazards are not available as standard, you can have them as an accessory, and that's a good thing. This motorcycle also comes with a main stand, so the side stand is not the only option. You can put it on the main stand as well. Now truth be told, this motorcycle is not meant for performance, so if you really want a motorcycle that goes really fast, or if you want to be going corner carving, this is not a scalpel either. So if you want to be riding it hard or to be riding it around a canyon, then this probably is not the motorcycle for you. But if you want a motorcycle that has girth, which has size, which looks good, which looks big, then this motorcycle is probably one for you. It also has fantastic fuel efficiency. In terms of the speeds that you can maintain, 80 to 90 kilometers per hour is something that this motorcycle can cruise on, and at 90 kilometers per hour this motorcycle is doing about 7,000 clicks on the tacho, with about 2,200 more RPM to go. The limiter cuts in at about 9,200 RPM, which is rather high because the peak power is 7,250 RPM, so you have 2,000 RPM more from that point onwards. And in that sense, I think if you ride it at about 90 kilometers per hour, it feels comfortable, but beyond that, it's a bit of a struggle. The engine is refined, very smooth, although if you're above 7,000 RPM, there is a very mild sensation of vibrations on the handlebar and on the footpegs, but it's not something to bother about at all. With its neo-retro kind of styling, this motorcycle is rather unique and it doesn't really have any real competitor except for the FZ-S itself, which is its own brethren, and that motorcycle is cheaper as well. But if you want this kind of a chunky look with the neo-retro styling, you don't have many other options. However, just to let you know, the Keyway RS125 is a similar, rather similar concept which has recently been launched, and you can look at that motorcycle as well. Other competitors of this motorcycle include the Hero Extreme 160R, the Keyway SR125 as I mentioned, the TVS RTR 162V and the Honda X-Blade. If you want to spend more, you can also probably look at the Ronin and the Hunter. Now in terms of pricing, this motorcycle is 1.37 lakh rupees ex showroom Delhi, and if you compare it with the Yamaha FZ-S, that motorcycle is 1.28 lakh rupees, so about 10,000 rupees lesser than this. The Keyway is 1.2 lakh rupees, the Yamaha RTR is 1.25 lakh rupees, the Hero Extreme is 1.29 lakh rupees, and the Hunter is 1.5 lakh rupees. The Ronin is also 1.5 lakh rupees. So as you saw, despite having the least amount of power of all its competitors, this is not the cheapest motorcycle, and there's a reason for that. No other motorcycle in this segment gives you traction control. So there is some value if you want size, fuel efficiency, comfort, and refinement, and of course the Yamaha brand. In terms of warranty, this comes with 2 years 30,000 kilometers standard warranty. You can buy an additional 3 years 40,000 kilometers warranty as well. All in all, it's a good motorcycle if you don't want to be going very fast, if you want to be commuting primarily, and if you want a motorcycle which is more appealing visually than performance wise. I really hope that I was able to answer all the questions that you had about this motorcycle. Still, if there's something remaining that you couldn't get the answer for, put that question down in the comment section. I'll be very happy to answer questions, and if you like these long format, detailed, analytical videos, do hit the like button, subscribe to Motoroids, and until next time, this is Amit Changani signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.